I am Quo, and with this instrument at this time. We thank each spiritual seeker this afternoon for making the journey here, for setting your intention to discover more about the nature of your reality that is one with the Creator that is everywhere. We hope that you will share your heart when each question is asked, so that that platform that was spoken of before the session began can become full of the Creator's love flowing through your heart. We would also ask that as we attempt to give our opinion to those who ask questions, that you realize that though we have traveled a bit further on the spiritual path than have you, we are giving you our opinion. If it does not ring of truth to you, then lay it aside. If you will do this for us, we can speak more freely knowing that you are not giving too much credit to what is being said. Is there a query with which we may begin?
Quo, I'm writing the second edition of my Vital Strategies in Cancer book and have patients in great need who come to see me with cancer. What insights can you share for me in terms of guiding those patients? What insights in terms of making the book a dynamic book that will attract the readers that need to find that information? I appreciate your thoughts.
I am Quo. We appreciate your query, my brother. This is a question that deals with the disease that has become more and more prevalent within the third density illusion. The general gist of any disease is that if one has experienced the catalyst of some kind of difficulty, whether it is mind, body, or spirit, that if this has not been dealt with consciously in a conversation with the person that the difficulty is experienced with, if in meditation that has not been balanced, then this will result in the experience of what you call cancer. That is, in general, what happens when any catalyst has not been done justice by working with it. It is given to the entity's body in a symbolic form, so that that which has not been seen and used originally may gain the attention once again. The opportunity may be presented again to deal with whatever catalyst it was, whether it is anger, confusion, a lack of any thought concerning the problem, then the condition will worsen. And then, hopefully, the entity experiencing whatever the sickness is, cancer of whatever part of the body, will then go to a doctor, such as you perhaps. They can see that there are more ways of dealing with diseases than with medicine, and perhaps you or anyone else that can provide this service can be a mirror to the one suffering the disease, and can give advice that speaks to the soul of the one experiencing the disease by sharing their own knowledge of others who have had these diseases and how they dealt with them. The basic principle here is to be able to use that catalyst and not ignore it. To know that your body is a creature of your spirit, of your mind, and it will tell you, in no uncertain terms, by the disease you experience. So our suggestion for you as you write in your book is to let people know how you have suggested to them how to deal with any particular disease. You have a most inspiring point of view that the usual medical community is unaware of, for they deal with the nuts and bolts of practical thoughts. Is there a further query, my brother?
No, thank you very much, Quo. I appreciate it.
I am Quo, and we appreciate your query, my brother. It is with much joy and inspiration within ourselves that we join this circle of seeking, that we sit alongside you, that we learn from you, and we exchange information, if you will, between us from your questions, seeing where you're coming from, what you're attempting to understand in your journey at this time, and remembering our own when we were once in your shoes and walked that same path. And so, it is with much delight and honor that we would ask if there is a query to which we may speak.
I have a query, Quo. This is concerning dreams, visions with possible prophetic meaning. My question is kind of two parts. First, is there a benefit to receiving such information? And the second part is, would you encourage someone to investigate this further?
We are those of Quo, and we have received and appreciate this query, my sister. It is an experience for many on this planet that they receive messages in these prophetic ways, in these states of dreaming, and in other states of consciousness. In fact, it is an ability that is open to all who take the intentional practice of opening their heart and their mind's eye to that possibility. It is with intention, we stress, that this experience can be further crystallized. that the ability to hone in on these prophetic abilities, these messages, the intentional practice is the exercising of that muscle. The stating before the dream state, before the sleep state, that you wish to receive these messages, and the practice of making note once those messages are received. My sister, there is utility to these messages. However, the utility, the flavor of its importance is something that is empowered by the seeker themselves. The dreamlike state can contain messages from higher self, the unconscious or subconscious self, or messages from outer self. It is what the seeker puts into these messages, what insight can be gleaned from these messages, that determines if it has utility. Take, for instance, a message of a prophecy, if you will, the ability to see something in the future. Simply setting the intention of noting, this prophecy instills within you a moment of a reminder, a memory. Then when that prophecy takes place, it can act as an avenue for further refinement, for larger seeing of the truth of the unity of your experience. That time truly has no function outside of your illusion, but it does help to catalyze the experience of your illusion, so that you see the experience on a linear scale, rather than a coexistence of many moments simultaneously. And so, my sister, the importance of these is invested by your own intention, by what you get from these prophetic moments. We would say that seeing them as magical, seeing them as pure, and holding them with much love and light can further instill within them a more refined and clear picture that you get from them. Those prophecies, those moments of future memory, if you will, that are imbued with your own love and light, that speak of the love and light of the Creator, that steer you away from feelings of fear or anxiety, are perhaps the most beautiful expressions of this particular modality of self-communication. We would state that focusing in on those, noting their perfection, noting where they come to you in your present moment, can be a powerful reminder of your truth and your reality that exists underneath the costumes of this illusion. So, we stress again the importance and the ability to use these prophecies is ultimately decided by the seeker. To understand them further, to recognize your own relationship with them, one merely needs to sit in states of silence to review how these come to you. What feelings come about for you whenever you experience them? What inspiration is gleaned from whenever the prophecy or the expected outcome happens? What is the feeling that sings in your heart? What is the sensation in your soul that you walk away with? Is it one of love? Is it one of acceptance? Is it one of deeper curiosity? Noting what you feel and listening to your heart will help you determine how you walk with these incarnational guides, how you utilize them to be pieces of your journey, how they may be guideposts on your walk, how they may be kinks in the road, or even how they may be stars in the sky as you look around on your journey. My sister, they are such beautiful instances when they occur, much like the moments of déjà vu or the moments of synchronicity. They all have purpose. They all are working in tandem with your own higher self and your own beingness to catalyze you in ways that spark your curiosity, that ignite your heart, that push your soul forward, that instill within you a sense of direction, even though it may not be clear in that moment. We think it is very inspiring to learn that the people in this room and on this planet are tuning more into these little glimpses outside of your time in its linear fashion or space as you see it. These little peeks beyond the curtain to a more unified, a more dynamic and infinite possibility of reality. My sister, we would also say that you develop an ability to trust yourself in these experiences. Do they feel magical? Trust that magic. Do they feel inspiring? Follow that inspiration. And in moments when it is hard-fought to find the magic or the inspiration, we stress that you have much grace for yourself. If the answers are not fully clear in that moment, have no fear, my friend. Your experience is always evolving and moving, and pieces are in constant flux, fading in and out, repositioning themselves with the ultimate and always present forward movement. While it may not make sense in that moment, it may be the light bulb that switches in your future. Know that this is what the dreams are working towards, that there is only a walk forward, The walk forward may have laterality, and these moments may inspire that lateral movement. But ultimately, you are still putting one foot in front of the other, being guided by these magical mysteries with full faith and an open heart and much patience for yourself. We feel as though we spoke to the first part of your question and would ask if you would like to repeat the second part of your question in hopes that we may speak to that as well.
I wish I had written my questions down now. I'll see if I can clarify, because I know I asked about the benefit. And then I guess my other part to this is just that when you're given words through a vision unfamiliar to you that you're curious about, and then you investigate, and then later maybe something happens that comes to fruition. I don't know. Is there an action I should take? Sorry, I'm thinking this is sounding confusing. Everything you said was inspirational and beautiful. I think you probably already answered my question. Thank you, Quo.
We are those of Quo, and we thank you for this additional sharing and would like to attempt to speak a bit more to that, my sister. Those moments when you receive a message where it is unclear what it means and what you are to do with it eventually coming to fruition can be again seen with curiosity, or they can be simply held. They can be witnessed and observed, acting as sweet reminders when that moment does eventually come into play as a precious photograph of a connected journey, a purposeful journey, one that has direction, though you may not see it. We would humbly suggest that those instances where the word or the visualization does not make a whole lot of sense, are confusing or are unfamiliar, that familiarity will come with your time. It will come with investigation, or may come with simple, loving acceptance that at this time I may not know, but that in time, as I am the Creator knowing itself, it will become clear. Instances like these are gifts to the Creator as well, as you can imagine. The Creator is ever expanding and refining its own processes, further knowing itself, and through your experience, reliving and appreciating the magic of the creation. And so when in doubt or when in confusion, one can still have much gratitude for the experience. For it is a collaborative gift between Creator and co-creator that you are working in tandem to further realize the totality, the infinite totality, that which is beyond description, that is this creation ever in motion, that by your loving acceptance or your investigation, that your mere experience of it is a deeper crystallization of the greater experience. We appreciate, again, this query, for it highlights the power of curiosity, the ability for the seeker to find deeper meaning through presence. And we would wish for all the blessings as the seeker who embarks upon such a journey, that they may find what they seek, that they may find peace and discover new parts of themselves. And we wish that for you as well, our sister. We are the principle known to you as Quo, and it is through this instrument that we continue in our blending of energies with this circle as we communicate and receive your queries, that we may be an aid and resource to you, our friends, upon your journey. You and all things in creation are simultaneously part of the whole and are the whole. That is, you are an entity with its inbuilt limitations woven into a larger fabric of a multitude of infinite quantities and qualities of other entities. And at the same time, you are the one infinite creator in its entirety, in its infinity. However, the focus of your awareness is currently, as you experience it, within an illusion whereby this awareness of your true and larger, shall we say, identity is veiled from your conscious awareness. And it is through that veil that we communicate with words and energies in hope that it may inspire you to continue to move further and deeper upon the journey of self-discovery, self-acceptance, and becoming the Creator. We are those of Quo and would ask if there is a query to which we may respond.
Yes, Quo. I have a query. Thank you for being here in this moment we call now. It is my greatest excitement to share our dialogue with you. My question pertains to the facilitation of vibration with an instrument, specifically what we call sound healing. Could we touch on individual mind-body-spirit basis and also broaden our stroke to planetary alignment, or what we call good work? This is a path of service to others that brings me much joy.
Are there any specific time signatures, such as writing in a Fibonacci sequence, that are more advantageous than, say, playing intuitively with one's intention focused on, say, cellular realignment?
We are those as a quo, and we thank you for the gift of your heart invested into this question, and the energy with which you bring to your question and your desire to be of service, our brother. We must first offer an apology that while we may and will do our utmost to lend insight to your question, there is some specialized knowledge that we do not find within this instrument's personal experience and memory banks that makes communication on some of this point limited. We therefore have only the recourse of a more broader response to your question. You ask about different applications of sound healing in the service to others, including the intuitive playing as you have described, and the other more specific frequency, asking what the impact and consequences and ultimate help these different modalities may be. We may counsel you, our brother, that the healer, whatever may be their particular modality, whether they are the allopathic or naturopathic or psychological or music-making type of healer, has a variety of tools in their tool belt, shall we say. Part of the great art of serving as catalyst, that is, serving as one who offers the healing catalyst, is in practicing the faculty of empathy and presence, such that one may intuit the request for service from the other self or other selves and respond accordingly. One may, through their practice of healing, or of simply making music that inspires and brings joy and activates the soul through this practice of experimentation and discipline, learn which modalities tend to have which effects which. We pause to deepen this contact momentarily, to study and pay attention and discover how other selves respond to your art and your service. We may say that both of those methods that you have described do have applicability and service, each in their own way. It is a matter of your discernment, our brother. That of the intuitive playing may be more aligned to the free-flowing energies of the moment. This method opens to you a pathway to step outside of the linear bounds of time and to become a portal through which the Creator can speak through the music and your playing and your seeming spontaneous selection of notes and chords and progressions and time signatures and melodies and so forth. Whereas the other methodology you mentioned may be that which is selected for its purpose in opening the other self or other selves to subtle energies and experiences within themselves, to perhaps help to restore alignment where there has been some misalignment between the mind or the body or the spirit complex, or between the mind-body-spirit complex and the universe at large. What is most important, our friend, is the love that you allow to flow freely through your own heart into your playing, into your act of service, such that whatever the chosen modality, intuitive or otherwise, it becomes a vehicle for the love that you have for life, for others, for beauty and truth. It is that quality of love and your beingness itself that becomes a transmission to help light the way for others, to help remind them of their own innate healing capacity, or their own innate power, or their own inherent freedom from the struggles which seem to bind them. Music is a very powerful way to give voice to this love that encompasses all things, music and sound generally. For the being has rational, logical, analytical, and language-based faculties and modes. And this, in the integrated being, is woven into the larger whole. But the being expands far beyond the limitations of the rational mind and the logic-bound mind, and music and sound on a very primal level may speak to these other and deeper and wider aspects of beingness. We are those of Quo, and would ask if there is a follow-up to this question?
No, thank you.
We thank you, our brother. Is there another query in this circle to which we may respond? We are those of Quo. As it seems we may have exhausted the available questions at this time, we would offer our great gratitude to each person here that has sought a portion of their journey within this home of LL Research. We are inspired always by those conscious, spiritual seekers of truth that have awakened in this third density illusion that is near its end. And those choices are more evident now, both the positive and the negative, and even less and less of those within the well of indifference.